On December 2nd, right? If we could stand and say the pledge. Okay, we do have a quorum. The only member that's missing, sorry guys, is Jim Piercy. Needs to be a consideration of minutes. Since I wasn't here last time, I don't have anything to do with it. So did you guys get a chance to look at the minutes for last month?
I have, and
Second.
All in favor? New business. We're to welcome Cody Perkins.
Cody,
You
you
need
want
to
to
stand
step
up,
up to the
Cody.
top there? So
Yeah, come on up.
I told him to have a full speech ready. No, I just wanted to introduce Cody Perkins, our new hire. He's already coming in fast, and he's been welding for the past 2 days. We're working on some
Welding?
projects. Yeah, so he comes from us. He's got a background from the Southside landfill. I don't know exactly what the name of it is, but and so he kind of worked his way up through the ranks, and he's done a little bit of probably he's dabbled in everything that we do too, plus some. So really good hire. He's been just jumped in right away, fits in with the guys and crew, and I'm just thankful. So.
Well, Cody, I am personally grateful that you're so talented. My brother was Gary, and I miss him terribly, and especially this time of the year when I see Winterland lit up, because he complained the whole time he was setting up those lights. I didn't hear one complaint this year. So, but welcome to the crew. I watched you guys working over on the gazebo, and I told Will and Eric to give you a hard time, telling them I was going to be stalking you, making sure you're doing a good job. But thank you for coming on board and
Yeah.
being such a good, productive member of the team.
I suppose you work with Mick Reinhardt.
Yes.
Yeah. Mick and I are classmates. Got somebody Mick relationship to the park. I should tell you guys.
Oh yes, please do.
Now, just a little snippet. This won't take less than 40 seconds. Mick worked with Toby Rodney, who is Harv Ellis's back when the park was just Harv Ellis Park.
Yeah.
And his grandson Toby, and Mick helped him. This is in high school. They were 16, 17, 18 years old, and they were the summer help. Toby and Mick. There are a couple of outstanding stories. Mick. So here's Mick come full circle, working in the park when he was 16 or 17 years old.
Now he's working.
When he's 70. That's enough.
Anybody else have any comments for Cody? Nope. Hearing none, you can go sit down or you can go home. No, whatever you like to do. Thanks again, Cody. Next on the agenda is Winterland.
So as you kind of are aware, Winterland is opened.
Looks beautiful. I haven't
It
driven
does.
through yet.
We've had a little bit of a slow start, crowd-wise, but I think it'll start picking up. Usually this Saturday is our biggest day of the year, so we'll be able to find out the tone, I think, from Saturday. And I'll be there directing traffic, so... yeah, so far, the chamber's done really well, too, on raising funds, so they're up, I think, like 25% or something, so that'll help offset if we are a little bit low, but they've been doing a great job. You know, always a good team, both of us working together to try to always push forward and make it a better product. We've got Madison on board helping with marketing as well, so it's a good team. We're just pushing forward, and the product's really good this year. I've heard some... You know, to us, it's still the same thing over and over, but, you know, that people are telling us it's looking really good, so it's good to hear.
Very good. Anybody have any questions or comments about Winterland? Nope. I have to make a comment real quick, real fast. Not on the agenda, but I want to thank the board and for covering me in my absence. And I want to thank everybody, all the park people, and at Madison, I got my basket and I was so blown away. Matt's not crediting you with this. the candle in the basket was Winter Wonderland. and me and my husband are both real weird about smells, and we both liked it. Just like it was really weird. It's like, okay, we found us a candle, we can burn it now. I knew Madison was responsible.
I did make the ribbon curls, just for the
Did
record.
you do that? I'm so proud of you. But it was very nice. Thank you so much, guys. My husband does the cooking and I don't, so now I can cook at least 2 meals and he'll taste it and it'll be good. So thank you again. It was very nice of y'all. So, okay, back to this. Winter Wonderland, no questions or comments. Let's move on to Playscape. Bum, 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 bum.
So this has kind of been a project we've been working on. Actually, I forgot to pull up the agenda up there. Project we've been working on for a while. We are looking to look at the remodel Playscape, and do we have options with what we have? Do we remodel what's there? Do we try to bring in something new? And it'll probably have a whole campaign with it to try to raise money. So I guess I'm looking for blessings to move forward. We're looking to bring the company that put it together out. It's like $2,000 for them to come out. They do an audit of our playground, and then they tell us pretty much to give you an estimate on what you can do for the future. And that'll give us at least a starting point to look at, do we continue with what we have, or do we go out and look at some other options? I met with Melissa Guffey of Compan this week, playground company, just trying to look and see what's out there. They had some versions of kind of what we have, but a modern version of what we have. So I'm getting some quotes from her. I'd like to probably go out and get a couple more quotes because we want something comparable. Because if we are going to, redo it maybe into a metal structure, then we need to look at, what we want to match it. We don't want to take it away. We want to try to keep the same features, just modern. So we're going to look at that, and if we go a different route, do we look at a different location too? Because the location is kind of rough for parking. There's only like 6 spots, and the playground's made for like 60 kids. So it's a little bit rough. So we're going to look at all those things, and hopefully sometime the beginning of next year, we'll bring you guys a package of like, hey, here's 3 options. What direction would you like us to go?
I just have one question. The $2,000 is from the Playscape. So if they're a part of it, we have to pay them $2,000 to give us.
Yeah, so they fly someone out, and they come in and inspect our whole. It's pretty standard. I don't know if you've seen Brownsburg. They just rehabbed theirs because we started this about a year ago, and then we heard they were doing theirs, so we kind of pumped the brakes a little bit so that we could find out how they did theirs and see, what to do, what not to do. And that was their first step too. They also sent us over their whole remodel package so we can look at it and see what to do.
Is this the big playground in Arbuckle?
Yeah, no, it's in Williams Park, and it's called Blast Off. They pretty much did it a couple years after we did it. So there's this.
Me and my husband just drove through there to look at it to see if I could see it.
Yeah. And now Leathers uses mainly plastic products, so like the Trex type of products. So it's like triple the price of wood, but it'll last, 10 times longer. So we just want to put the feelers out. We're going to spend a little money now to see if it's worth, kind of continue to do the same thing, or should we start going out and look at other options? And so we'll bring, 4 or 5 packages to you, and then you kind of tell us what direction you want to go.
Any more questions or comments? Moving on. Number 4, meeting dates for 2022. Can't come soon enough.
So the only thing that I thought that may be a problem is, once again, being at the end of the month, we've got Thanksgiving and Christmas in there. So let me try to pull it up here. So I think everything was good except for the 23rd and 28th. 28th is really close to Christmas. I kind of like what you guys suggested this time, where we almost combined the two and did beginning of the month. Is that something that you'd like to do?
Yeah. We could do that.
It's every fourth Wednesday.
Every fourth Wednesday, yep.
I'm going to have some conflicts, but I guess.
It's your game. Be at that.
You can go virtual from the Pacers game if you want to.
Yeah, I could do that. Actually, because, yeah, that's right before the game.
So the 23rd would be the day before Thanksgiving, so we definitely don't want to do that. We could do, so the council would be on the 7th.
It says the January 26th.
Well, is the town trying to get everybody
To Wednesdays.
to Wednesdays?
Yeah.
Trying to move it, it's gonna be the problem, because other meetings will be taking place, right?
Do what?
It's gonna be hard to try and move it since other boards will be having meetings on the other Wednesdays.
Yeah, but there's still time in there if you
Okay.
want to move it, because, let's see here, you could do it Monday, not the 1st or the 3rd, but the 14th would probably have opportunities. Let me look at the 14th and see what's on that second meeting, because I think those are earlier. So we may be able to like tag on at 7 or something like that.
Okay. Not like we haven't had changes happen on the fly before. Does anybody else have any problems, comments, questions? So hearing none, we'll move on, and we'll worry about those end dates towards the end of next year, when we'll get that figured out. Next item on the agenda is Bollards.
All right, so got an option here. Oh, I'm trying to throw it up there. So we were looking at, we want a certain type of bollard, and we can't find what we want.
Cody just welded up.
So we reached out to L&N Welding here locally, and I was like, hey, can you build this? And he said, yeah. So he came in at $185, which is pretty much what we would have paid for our other one. So I'm looking to kind of move forward on this, because it's going to take him a little bit of time to put it together. But then we will move forward with putting in these bollards.
We have to.
And they're collapsible too, so we can drop them if we need to, if we're doing runs or anything
Do we know
like
what the
that.
diameter is gonna be?
4x4 and then 36 inches tall.
Okay.
That's
I
what
was
we're
trying to
having.
read it, but then I looked away.
Yeah, here, I'll make it a little bit bigger.
Because we had a bollard at the soccer fields. That was just,
The skinny ones?
yeah, and I actually showed up at the soccer fields, and there was a car up in the air with that bollard. It caught the bottom of the car because they were going to drive over it,
Yeah,
and they're not supposed to, and it caught it, and it lifted up their whole back end.
yeah.
I get there with people all standing all around, it's like, great.
Yeah, and we have the flexible signs, and people drive over them all the time. So it's time to get something that's going to last. And we decided instead of getting the whole saw, since we're going to spend some money on this, we'll just cut squares out. We've got a saw already that can do that. So.
Good deal. Guys, I was telling Will that I was driving by the park about 3 weeks ago, and there was somebody driving on the trail. And it was in the daylight, and it's like, for them to get on the trail, they had to make a hard right to get on there. Yeah. And then I thought, well, maybe they, down by where that corner is by the pool where we changed that, maybe they got on a trail there, but then there's the bollard at the other end.
Yeah.
And it's like, no, that means they got on here. What is wrong with them? So I was worried about the lights. That's why I called. It's like, hey, somebody's driving. Can you check it to make sure it's okay? So.
Yeah, I had someone send me a picture of someone on the trail in the front lot. There's actually 4 cars parked on it. I know. I'm like, why are they here? I think it was actually the neighbors. Not for sure, but
we talked about that a little bit. I actually went and looked at the grass
yeah,
to see if the grass was broken down, and I don't see tire tracks.
you know.
No, I just don't know how in the world they thought that was the road. So I was thinking maybe at some of those points we could put like yellow paint lines.
Yeah, so the crosswalks, we actually bought stuff we're going to make a template and do
Yeah.
our own crosswalks.
Good.
Kind of custom, a little artsy, but cheap.
Just make it
So.
very obvious that it's
Yeah.
pedestrian or bicycle. I mean, or whatever. It's just not, no automobiles.
Yeah.
No vehicles.
Don't run over the bollard.
Or the gun Bollard. Anybody have any questions or concerns? Bill, you okay? Moving on to sidewalks. That's important.
So this is one, actually Tammy brought this one up. And so the town, it's one of our biggest struggles is the easements to get anything because, if you're looking at any projects, you have to go through so many yards to be able to get there and you have to get the rights for that. Right now we've been using our lawyers and they're just not keeping up with what we want. So we have a meeting on Thursday with a company that this is what they do. And I think that will help kind of spear some of these things that we have on the hopper that we're waiting on. Because that's the piece we're missing. Once we get the land, it's easy to put the sidewalks in. It's getting the land. I mean, sometimes it could take years, to get 3 properties. So having somebody on our side that can go out and that they do this for a living, negotiate whatever that is the way to go. So we're probably going to meet with a couple companies, and then when we find one, we'll probably do a test project with them in a smaller area and see what they do, and then probably go after it after that. We're looking at the Sycamore project, heading up north, Money Lane. That's kind of one that's on the top, but then probably 2, I think Lincoln Street is just, it's something that needs to be done. So that'll probably be the bigger project that we have them start on.
I know what I talked to you about. That would be state, wouldn't it?
Not the Lincoln Street.
No, I talked to you about the mom with the stroller on the outside of the bridge just west of Casey's.
Oh, yeah.
That would be state easement. And
Anything along 36 is state. Anything along 39 is state. And it's all their right-of-ways.
Yeah, she was going around, not walking on the bridge, to stay away from traffic, had her baby stroller at an angle like this, walking on the outside of the bridge. And I just thought, we have no sidewalk for them to walk from Clear Creek to Casey's.
Yeah, and they just redid that bridge, too. It would have been a good time
That would have been a great time.
I know.
Bummer. Okay, so those are priority projects to do.
Yep.
As long as the public sees it's taking place and we're trying to get things happening. We've got a lot of sidewalks to nowhere. So it'd be nice to see them,
Yes, very
see them
true.
finished. Any questions or concerns? Hearing none, we'll move on to Conservation Club.
So I sent out an email to some, and then also Tom is looking to talk to each one of you guys about the Conservation Club and give you a little tour of it. So, it's something we've been talking about. Maybe it'll get a little deeper now. I'm not for sure. But he wants you to come out and see the facilities. So try to get your buy-in.
So I hope they're not the same as they were out there.
It's been about 25 years since I've been here.
Well, this time of year.
Sounds like a really good idea.
Yeah. The grounds are
It's a win-win
pretty.
for whole-
Is he a member out there?
No.
No.
Are they flexible with us coming? I haven't
Yeah.
talked to him yet.
They we've met like informally, just hey, are you interested or not? And that's all we've kind of done. And then made sure we reached out to the council, and once it becomes more of a reality, I think then we all just need to sit down and figure out the pieces before we get deeper into it. But right now it looks like a good possibility, but who knows? There's a lot of entities that have to work together, and sometimes that can be a long process. Yeah, we got a guesstimate from an environmental company, and we're using the highest guesstimate. And that's without any brownfield grants, which we'd probably get brownfield grants, but I'm not counting that. So the goal would be for us to spend $0 in the long haul.
Good one, Bill. Bill, else have anything? Anything else? Moving on. Waste management.
So we had a second meeting with Waste Management. I think David was there, but we haven't had a meeting since then. They're working on a couple projects, so I think we're not there yet, but I see another meeting probably needing to happen and a timeline probably following that on, hey, where are we? Where are we going? When do you see this happening? That kind of thing. And then we need to probably sit down with the council and just have a work study and brainstorm.
Okay, now this may just be because I've had surgery and medicine for pain and all the drugs. But for some reason, I remember a conversation that Waste Management did something with them, and Waste Management did something with our wastewater department. And they said that if they install this, such and such, it would cause them to have more life and be there longer.
Oh, no,
you-
they are looking at.
That's why I put this on here. It's like, somebody help me understand this.
So they're looking at requesting to grow by 20 feet high, right?
Okay.
And they're looking. They have about 10 years left on what they have, and they're going to grow out southeast. But if they go up 20, they have 18 years left growing south. But if they went up 20 feet, they would add additional 10 years.
Okay.
So, which is like $8 million for the town.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering.
Yeah.
And they're not going to take the soccer fields, right?
No, they have no plans. There's what are they called? Like runoff
Yes.
from the
Yeah.
juice from the landfill. Those ponds are kind of their limit. They can't
Okay.
move the ponds. Once the ponds are in place, that's kind of waste for life. So
Anybody else have any questions or concerns? Old business, master plan update, first draft is in.
yeah, so I sent out the first draft. It's a pretty good read. If you get a chance, look at it. It's got a lot of awesome information that we can use for multiple things, and I feel like it validates what we've been doing over the years and our direction. Even our project list is pretty much everything that the citizens want improved too. We still got to push forward on how we're going to do some of those things, but it's just like anything. It's an iceberg, and we're chipping it off, as we can with what we have. But kind of staying the path, I think, is good.
Very good. Anybody else have any questions or comments? Hearing none, we'll move on to concerts.
So far, I believe every single rental is coming back. We're working on finalizing some dates and features and stuff like that. Sights and Sounds, I think, talked about bringing back the Kentucky Headhunters again because their sponsors wanted them. But I don't know what they're doing for their second concert. So hopefully I'll have dates and bands for everything. Probably not from them, but at least ours by next meeting.
It'd be nice to have Sights and Sounds come in and give us a kind of an updated report on how their year went.
Yeah. I mean, I can ask them to come out if you'd like.
First year, yeah, please. First year was, I would understand, it's kind of baby steps, trying to get people thinking about concerts again. So I wouldn't expect them to have overall tremendous success, but I'd like to get an update from them.
Yeah, and we did make that upgrade to the electrical as they talked about. So that's all done. So now we have larger capacity. But yeah. Yeah, that was really their only thing was that.
What, don't we have another phase on the amphitheater?
Another what?
Another phase of construction?
Yeah, it's the dream phase.
It's the dream phase, okay.
Yeah.
Just the back wall?
Yeah, back wall / like a green room or storage room.
Right.
But it was like $50,000. Given the architect's layout, I think it probably needs redesigned to they did overkill on most of the things there. I feel like it could be a simpler version of the same thing. So I may look into that too.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Any questions or comments on concerts? That was a tongue twister. Next in the agenda is pool projects.
So I think the only one we have left is the slide contract, and I think I'll probably be bringing that to the town in the next meeting. All the other ones are confirmed. I don't have exact dates yet, but that's the last contract to do for the reno. So
Okay. Any comments or questions? Moving on, the football tower.
So on the very back page of the packet, I attached a map, and it's the results of the drone flyover. So there is a large fall, like we thought there was, from the west field to like the northeast side of the west field down to the southwest side. So we're going to have to bring in a contractor and probably bring in about 1.5 to 2 foot of dirt and feather it all the way back over into this corner. It's definitely not something I wanted to do after spending all the time getting grass there. But to be able to play on it and make it right, we need to do that. So that's going to kind of be the first step, and then we'll start moving into these other things. Working on getting contractors and trying to secure those things is a goal of mine as well. So it's actually this side. You can see the arrow.
Yes.
And then I want to do probably bump outs on some of these corners because they're really close to the fall. People to be able to like walk around it pretty easily. And, you know, where does everyone sit? Around the outside of the field. So we want to make sure that there's plenty of seating.
Okay.
Are you still hoping to be using them next summer?
Yeah, the building won't take very long to do. I think the dirt work is probably going to be the the biggest pain, but prices right now are rough. But I think we should be good. I mean, you could still play on the fields even if it wasn't done, but it would be nice to have it done when you do it. So our goal is definitely to get there. I'd like to have it done before summer.
Any more questions on football tower? Concerns?
Where's the parking lot in that picture? Just for,
So it's actually upside down. So the parking lot is right here. It's kind of washed out. My scanner's not very good. You can see a little bit of it right
Of
here.
graininess in the picture.
So this is that community building we talked about, and the parking lot is like right here.
did they guarantee it would be a certain grade? Because I feel like they went over it
So-
thousands of times.
So, and we talked to them about that too, and I think so. They used the wrong stake, if you remember. The marking stake, like they make all their measurements off of one stake, right? You put in the main stake, and then you take all your survey stuff. And they, Banning came in and caught them that they used the wrong stake. And they were majority through the problem. It still hits the 3% grade, but it's not. I mean, you go out there and try to throw a post pattern, you just fall off a cliff, on the corner. And we want it. You can tell visually that there's a problem, and if you can tell visually there's a problem, it needs to be fixed.
Elizabeth, you would know.
That's the whole project.
Right in your backyard.
That's exciting that it'll be usable soon.
Yeah, I'm excited. I know they are. I know they've been raising funds. They're really ready to see some dirt being moved, and so am I, because they're getting antsy. So I've been working with Pete and Drew and just trying to move forward. So
Okay. Any more comments or questions about the football tower? Moving on, we're going to go on to awnings and windows.
super exciting. I don't know if you've seen the windows going in on the side.
No.
So all across the bottom on Bostic, they've been putting in the windows. They, I think all of them are in now. They just need to be trimmed out. All the trim's like missing around them. So that's super exciting. That's about a 2-year project, hopefully being done. I still have one door they need to come and put in, and then we'll be completely wrapped up, which is awesome. Not only that, but the awning company just called me one day this week, or was it last week? It was this week.
We don't have a date.
No, I don't have an exact date, but they said it's in production now. So
Very
they
good.
said if the production
We have
people,
forward movement.
yeah, if the production guy likes us, it'll be 4 weeks. If if he doesn't like us, it'll be 8. But
Madison,
he said,
time to find out more frozen dinners. Make a
send him over his
basket.
way.
Find out what kind of candle he likes.
We'll
He
make some more
socks.
ribbon curls.
Yeah. Yeah, so that one, man, that's been a project. Whew, just, I'm going to be so glad for it to be done. And then Barry has also mentioned that he will paint the doors to match the awning once we get it in. So it's going to look awesome on the outside in the next 8 to 10 weeks. So I'm super excited about that. I'm glad to be able to cross it off the list on this agenda.
Finally, it'll go away.
Yes.
It's burned into the page now. Any
And
questions?
you're gonna have some signage that
Yeah, so-
will be kind of appropriate.
Yeah,
I still feel like unless you know where you're going, go into a hole and then your door's shut, no one knows where
yeah.
you get into the DAC. Now,
Yeah.
that's all.
We also talked about maybe sprucing up that entry because the entry's a little rustic when you come in. The top
That's a good
steps
word.
kind of beat down.
That's a good word.
Yeah. We did the stairs and stuff though, so it looks nicer. But
I think that's all fine. I think it's signed because there are a lot of people that drive by it. I don't think they realize, well, that's the door that you get in to go into the DAC. I don't.
yeah, I mean we have the giant sign by the railing right there, right by the door. I don't like the sign. I'd rather have it hanging from the top or something
I'd
like
to have
that.
it hang.
Yeah, I think that's a good strategy. I told Barry the future needs to be looking at those steps too because they are falling apart. They're really bad. And we don't have any handicap entrance on that side. So when we have events, we have to take them all the way around to town hall and then bring them in back through there. And we have to pretty much escort them, through there and then escort them out because it's not easy to get through there. And they finally have a handicap entrance at the front doors here. So baby steps.
Any more questions about awnings, windows, concerns? Hearing none, we'll move on to the DAC update.
So Barry tells me that he's still trying to get the HVAC guy, so we'll see where that is. But I am supposed to meet with Batter Shell next week so we can start doing the drawings for the bathrooms.
I wouldn't mind, this is kind of a pet peeve. I think it's
You
important.
want to sit in on it?
Yeah, I wouldn't mind. I just think it's really important to have some. And I always say about the women, I just think it'd be good. We're more appealing to the women. I wouldn't mind.
Okay. Yeah, no problem.
So staying on this subject real quick. I talked to Elizabeth a little bit on the way in, but Northview's building a huge community center. And have we talked to Northview about what they're offering and?
Yeah, they're going to have, I think when I looked over it, because I was in some of the meetings when they were putting it together, I think they're focusing on soccer, though.
Are they?
On a majority of it. There's
It's just
soccer, and then
it's
there's
so
a
big.
concession stand, and then there's,
There will be basketball courts. They already have one in there,
yeah.
so hopefully that'll help with some of the youth league.
Yeah, the youth leagues need it bad. My kids are in the league, and it's a hot mess right now. Yeah, because the schools, their gyms are messed up, and so they kind of are changing the times all the time. So they're doing the best they can with what they have.
Okay. I was just wondering because I drove by there and
It's
before,
huge, isn't
there
it?
wasn't a building, and then I drove by again, and all of a sudden there's this building about the size of the
Yeah.
church.
Yeah.
It's huge. I didn't know what all they were going to be offering, if it's going to be something that we offer here.
Yeah.
I didn't want to be competitors. I want to be partners. in
Yeah,
serving the
I'm
community.
sure they'll probably offer some things that we
Indoor
do.
Playground.
Yeah, but
That
we
would
don't
be
have
nice,
that.
but
Yeah.
is there any more questions, or are there any more questions about the DAC update concerns? No? Hearing none, financials here today?
So the main ones, we've pretty much just been spending out of the Winterland account for the past month. We're doing fine there. We don't have any earmark for displays for next year, but I could see that being a big expense next month if we do end up going down that path. I've talked to Kelly about it a little bit. We have some ideas of doing a walkable area inside the pickleball courts, just to try to keep it spicy, something
Spicy.
different. Yeah,
Interesting, keep it in under same.
you got to keep.
Fresh
Have
and
a
new.
walkable area. Snow,
Oh yeah,
people park, walk through. I've wanted to do that.
yeah. It's kind of dangerous to go down there and walk with cars driving around with their lights off.
How's our traffic flow with it? Are we going backwards this year?
No, we're going the right way this year. Last year actually worked out really well. We'll see this year. Really moving the tree this year, I thought it was going to be a terrible thing, and it turned out to be a good thing, because I think some of the traffic jam is people sitting, want to listen to all the songs on the tree. So by moving it to where they have to keep going, I think it's made it push the traffic through a little bit faster.
We'll see Saturday, huh?
Yeah, I know. Saturday we'll find out. It'll be. I'll either have to suffer or enjoy it.
Are we gonna have to, you think we'll have to have a staff out on Main Street to,
Yeah, that'll be me. I'm
well-
usually the one out there, so I'm putting all the cones out like it's going to be the biggest day ever. And then if we don't have to do it, then that's okay. Last year we managed really good. We only had like a couple of times where they were a little bit out on 36, but nothing crazy, and we had our best year ever. So it'll be interesting to see going back to the old way and moving the tree if it's still functional. But we now have the Santa's helper at the transition of the loop, and then we have somebody at the traffic at the front. So what's cool is we will always push more people through the circle than we let in, because every person you push forward in the circle is taking their second lap. That means they're leaving. So you can kind of control a lot of the flow just in those two areas.
maybe neat if somehow we could incorporate North Park
Yeah,
into that
no.
walking area.
That would
Because
be
there'd be
great.
plenty of parking, people stop and park.
We talked about Aiken too, because it's a little bit bigger. The loop is larger. The hard part is the infrastructure. We've got $5,000 per panel, and that's not even installing
yeah.
the ground stuff. So, and we have 17 panels. So I mean, just to
understand.
move it would be like $100,000. That's without any lights.
Oh, I get it. But we
Yeah.
have Cody that can weld.
Yeah, exactly.
I'll just draw it and Cody can make
We just
it.
have to start now.
And then we can have Eric wiring the lights to the frame. Okay. Anything else on financials, Will?
I am going to come to you. We're looking to with the. We have 13,000 in new equipment, and we've been looking at getting a UTV, RTV, just to update what we have. So I may be coming to you or sending an email out that I'm going to move forward on that. We've been planning on it. I just haven't had time to do it. So I'm going to send Matt and Cody out to go test drive some stuff and see financially where we're at. We may have to pay like $3,000 difference or something like that, but we'll try to work within that 13.
Feel bad. What are we talking about again?
So, like our smaller little vehicle that we drive around
Yeah.
to do all kinds of maintenance
Yeah,
stuff.
that's right. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Anything else in your to-date financials? Any questions or concerns? I will entertain a motion to adjourn. Bill motion. David seconds. This meeting is now concluded. Thank you.
Well, I'm curious about the water thing that was supposed to come. Is that just pushed back?
Hold on a sec. Let me turn this guy off.